watching the W Show. Thanks to Nat Edwards and Daisy Pearce with you. Daisy, a massive win for your D's on the weekend. Congrats.
Big win. Very proud of the girls. Team effort and against a side that we really respect. Two-time premiership winning Crows, but huge in the context of our season. But one of many big results across the round, which I'm sure we're going to unpack.
We will in just a moment, but let's take a look at what's been making news this week. Eagles captain Emma Swanson, the big story, she copped a 2-week ban. The Dockers take top spot with an incredible comeback over the Blues. The Pies lose 2 key defenders to injury. And Lauren Bella and Demon Eliza McNamara are the round 7 AFLW Rising Star nominees, of course, thanks to NAB. Let's talk about Emma Swanson, though, the Eagles skipper, a 2-week ban. We'll take a look at the incident.
Ball towards the boundary line. Warfield tracking after it. Big bump by Swanson. A perfect shepherd, but she laid out Rankin with a heavy hit. And that ball is out of play. Swanson comes across to check on her welfare. Solid shepherd there from the Eagles skipper.
Good hip and shoulder there. I don't think there's too much in that. It was within 5 metres of the football and a fair shepherd, but she does look to be in a little bit of trouble there, which is unfortunate.
So Georgia Rankin concussed. They diagnosed that after the game. The match review officer said that the bump was careless conduct, high impact and high contact. What did you make of the 2-week ban?
Well, I hope Georgie's all right, first and foremost. Hopefully she recovers quickly. But it's a funny one, isn't it? I mean, you watch it, and as someone that's watched a lot of footy, a bit like Dana Hooker in the commentary, you think, oh, no, that's fair. How often do you see a shepherd like that? But maybe this is one of those moments of a bit of a statement that we're trying to reduce these out of the game, given what we now know about concussion and the impact they can have. I think the thing for me is, though, now, if that's graded as heavily as it has been, a 2-week ban for what is a football act, well, then now we need to see consistency with it throughout not just the AFLW season, but the men's season that's coming as well. I'm comfortable if we start taking those kind of acts out of the game, because you could maybe affect that shepherd with a bit less force. That's okay. I'm happy to adjust, but we need to be consistent with it.
So a 2-game ban out of a 9-week home and away season. So it's nearly a quarter, say, nearly, or a fifth of the season. So if we equate that to men's, for a similar incident, what, we're looking at 5 weeks, 6 weeks? Can you actually see something like that happening if you know, we look at the men's season about to start? Shannon Hearn, Eagles skipper, comes along, a bump like that, is he going to get 5 weeks?
Well, that's what I refer to with the consistency. That's exactly what I mean, that if concussion's serious, which we're all agreeing it is, and if this is part of the way of possibly reducing it, well, then we need to see it across all, and it can't just be a flinch reaction to that one incident, you wouldn't think. But I don't see the high contact. Maybe there was other angles as well. So I'm a bit kind of on the fence. I feel for Emma because it's a harsh penalty. She misses the rest of her season, but I also understand if, as a statement, we're trying to stamp these out.
Certainly will be an interesting debate for a few weeks to come, I'm sure. The game I want to look at, the Dockers, what an incredible comeback over the Blues. Unfortunately for the Blues, it looks like it's going to be really tough for them to make finals. Mathematically, they still can, but Sabrina Duffy kicking those 2 goals in 2 minutes. Gee, she was brilliant.
Was she ever? And just an absolute credit to their never give up attitude. They've got amazing belief, the Fremantle Dockers, and we've seen them do this a number of times where it hasn't been their day, but they hang in, and then are able to produce a result like the one they did. Gemma Houghton, incredible as well. You'll see her big clutch goal in the moment, but she was well held for most of the day by Charlotte Wilson, and then just given a tiny little bit of space in this passage, she went back and kicked this clutch goal from about 40 out. So huge result.
Their forward line is so unpredictable when you look at it, not just Gemma Houghton and Sabrina Duffy, but you've got the likes of Jazzy Stewart, who's gone forward in recent weeks, Roxy Rue, Cara Antonio, Gabby O'Sullivan. It's so dynamic, that forward line. You obviously face the Dockers this weekend.
Feels like every week you bump up the team we're about to play.
I do, but you know,
then hand it over.
It's going to be hard for your defence to handle it.
Oh,
we might actually need you to go back into this week.
I'm not sure where I'm playing yet this week, but no, you're right. Very dynamic. They're not one-dimensional in the way that they can create goals. It doesn't have to be coming in perfectly and quickly for them to be able to produce a score. It's what makes them so dangerous.
Time now for your deep dive. What have you got for us?
Well, I had a look at the Western Bulldogs and Collingwood game, and it just sprung out to me on the day that Nathan Burke making the comments around just some of their mental lapses at his quarter-time interview, and this is what he was talking about. I mean, this is partly really good running and smart football from the Roos and Daisy Bateman, but just a little mental lapse that she wasn't marked there. And then here you see Danny Marshall go up in the ruck against Emma King, free kick paid to Jazzy Garner, and she rotates. It's really unfortunate. She's newish to the game, but you see Jazzy onto it straight away, finds Emma King, who was smart enough to drift forward, goes back and goals. And then this one later in the game, I think it was the second quarter, just a little bit sloppy on the ruck, enabling Ash Riddell to play on and just get that extra 5-10 metres that might have been the difference between a goal or not. I mean, you'd sit down in your review after that and know darn well that that was probably the difference in a big game that might mean finals or not, or it's going to make their finals run a bit harder. But in a sense as well, it's a gift, because for a young side to have lived through that, have to sit down and watch it, you don't do it again. So there's a great lesson in it.
A big lesson to learn, and, you know, obviously could cost them their season. So they'll be ruining some opportunities there. Now, as we mentioned earlier, Gold Coast ruck Lauren Bella is one of this week's NAB AFLW Rising Star nominees, and I managed to catch up with her during the week. Now, Lauren, on the W Show, we want to get to know you just a little bit better. So I've got some quick-fire questions for you. Are you an early riser or a late-to-bed person?
Definitely a late-to-bed person. I wish it was the other way around.
Me too. Paris or London?
Definitely Paris.
Favourite Gold Coast AFL player?
I'd have to go with Sammy Collins. Love him.
At a party, are you more likely to be found on the dance floor or singing your heart out?
That one's hard. I can't do either of them, but I do end up doing it. So, but probably dancing. I do love a boogie.
You might be doing both right at the end of the night, I'd say. A TV show that you've binge watched recently?
I've re-binged The Office recently.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. The UK or the American version?
The American one.
Yep, okay. And most annoying teammate?
Most annoying teammate. I love it at bits, but definitely Kate Spud Sermon.
Fair enough.
I think she knows that though. She just,
Okay, as long as she's self-aware, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Now, we know you grew up on a farm, so your favourite farm animal?
I've always loved horses. Don't want to put it out there that I'm a horse girl, but yeah.
Do you have any tats?
I do not know.
Chinese food or Italian food?
Got to go with Italian food. I can't go against my roots.
No, exactly. If you could become an expert on one musical instrument, what would it be?
I actually played the trumpet growing up. However, I probably would love to learn the saxophone. I think it'd be so cool.
Oh, we might have to get you to play some trumpet for us one day.
Oh, no.
Lauren, thank you so much.
In a while.
Thanks so much for joining us on the W Show.
That's right. Thanks for having me, Nat.
Now, I also spoke to Lauren about the fact that she's legally blind, which was a really interesting chat. She has been a big improver over the last 12 months, and you can catch that full interview online at women's.afl and, of course, the AFLW official app. So, moving on now to some star power.
Well,
Dave.
actually, Nat, before we get to star power, I've got a serious matter I need to address before we go any further. So, thank you in advance for your time. I want to take this opportunity to apologise for my comments made on this show on Thursday, March 4th. I was asked to provide my mid-season report card, including who I thought should be the NAB Rising Star based on the season to date. Without taking anything away from Jess Fitzgerald of the Western Bulldogs, who I suggested at the time, I showed inexcusable oversight in not nominating my own teammate Tyler Hanks, whose season had been and continues to be outstanding. I've reached out to Tyler to apologise directly, but as is within her rights, she's chosen not to talk to me at this time. Moving forward, I'll endeavour to give her more credit and show more loyalty to my teammates. I'm happy to take any questions.
Well, you've owned your mistake nowadays. I mean, it was a massive oversight at the time. I did think that. you know, from your own perspective, and we're going to change this retrospectively for you so you can now have Tyler in there. She has been incredible though. Like on the weekend, 25 disposals, should have been 2 goals.
Oh, yeah, 2 goals. That's another controversial one to talk about.
We might not touch on that. I mean, she has been brilliant. Are you going to have a team leadership meeting
definitely.
over this? Some punishment?
Yeah, I'll take whatever comes my way. But no, I think Hanksy would know I appreciate her deeply, and I think it's almost a testament to her that I did overlook her, because I almost forget that she's still eligible. I mean, she's someone that I rely on as captain. She's another leader in our team. She's outstanding, amazing footy brain. So I almost forget that she's eligible. I talk to her like I would a Paxi about the game and about leadership issues. So, yeah, in a backwards compliment, it's like a testament to her that I didn't nominate her. Can I wriggle out of it like that?
You can, sort of. We'll let it slide. The apology was very nice. Well handled.
But no, she's super impressive, has improved out of sight, especially in the last year, just with how hard she's worked. But she's started having a lot more belief in herself as well. And it's incredible. I mean, you look at the coaches' votes. I think she's 6th at the moment on the tally, and the names that sit above her, it's elite company.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, from a star in your team to a star in the Giants side, and it's Beth Privitelli this week. She was dropped in round 6. Came back with a bang, kicking 3 goals against the Saints.
Huge. She was the match winner, really, wasn't she? The 3 goals. And you can see there just her smarts in the wet, like the decision there to flatten the hands and then take the ball on the second bite. Good wet weather footy, but what an amazing response, having been dropped. I mean, she wasn't injured, just purely omitted, but came back and responded perfectly, especially considering that you don't really get to play any footy if you're up in Sydney at the moment.
There's no VFLW to play, and they don't have a reserves comp. So she had a really hard training session on the Saturday, and that was it. That's all she had to prove herself. So she did terrifically well. Someone else we wanted to highlight this week in Star Power is Lions defender Bree Conan, but couldn't find any vision days.
Yeah, well, that's the, I guess, the life of a defender, isn't it? There's no great highlights package, but when you've kept a superstar like Chloe Molloy possessionless till half-time and then goalless in a big game, I thought we should highlight her performance. Just amazing, her application to the task and then her defensive attention to detail. No mean feat against Chloe Molloy. Yeah,
the Lions' defence was terrific against Collingwood. When we do talk about the Pies, just briefly, I mean, we know that Lauren Butler and, of course, Geordie Allen.
Yes.
Her name had slipped my mind for a second.
Foot for Geordie Allen, yeah.
Both of them out now for the season. That's a massive blow to Collingwood's defensive stocks, and Ash Brazel's still on the sidelines. Would you risk her and bring her in?
Well, it's hard to know. There's sort of no information out there in terms of a timeline or anything for Ash Brazel, but she's a gun. She'd be a handy addition into the side, even if it had been full strength. But maybe now the pressure goes up and, you know, their push to get her back in ramps up because they're not as stable down there. I'm not sure. Have you heard anything on injuries for her?
I haven't, no. I think it's week by week. Still no timeline for Ash Brazel, according to the Pies. Another Pie, Ruby Schleicher, she's so integral to their defence as well, given that she's been able to run off and rebound thanks to the improvement of Lauren Butler this year. But Ruby was lucky enough to join us on the Credit to the Girls podcast on her birthday, and this is what she had to reveal about some of her teammates.
Oh, there's so many weirdos in their own way. Shani's a weirdo. Have you seen her? Gosh, she'll love that. I'm a weirdo. Bree Davies a weirdo. She doesn't eat condiments. She doesn't have condiments on any of her food. So, like, she can't, no sauce, no, like, dressings. She's such a plain eater. It's insane. So she's a weirdo. There's so many. Chev's a weirdo. She's into weird stuff. And Ebs O'Day's a weirdo. She's nutcase as well. There's just so many. Chotch is a weirdo. She's just like the mum of the group, and we love her to death. There's so many. I could honestly go on and point something out about everyone.
So a bunch of weirdos at Collingwood. That was Ruby's response when I asked the question, what makes this Collingwood team so special that's on the cusp of potentially winning a flag? And that was her response. They're just a bunch of weirdos.
That was the whole interview. Just
Pretty much.
weirdos. I like it.
Are you a weirdo?
Oh, yeah. We could do a whole show on my weird tendencies.
We might have to get some of your Melbourne teammates to help us out with that. Let's take a look now at the ladder. And the Pies, after that loss to the Lions, they are now third on the ladder. So they've dropped from first to third. And then, of course, the D's, you're inside the top 6. You're 4 games clear of the Dogs now. And your percentage is certainly a hell of a lot better than theirs.
4 points clear of the Dogs. 4 games would be nice.
Oh, sorry,
That'd be
points,
a great
yeah.
buffer, but we're not that comfortable. No, but yeah, as I said last week, you look at that now, 3 teams on 24, 320, and the Dogs not far off. There's going to be a lot of shuffling over the next couple of weeks.
2 more weeks to go. Let's take a look at round 8. What are you most looking forward to? Apart from your game, of course. Sunday at Fremantle Oval, you have to travel.
You look at the Lions and North Melbourne at the Gabba.
Yeah.
The only dampener, pardon the pun, there's going to be an absolute monsoon up there, it sounds like.
know.
They're predicting big rain, but it should still be a cracking game.
Now, I'm looking forward to yours as well. Best of luck. Have fun on the long plane ride to Fremantle. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on the W Show again. We'll see you next week.